John Lewis laid to rest today. Funeral for the civil rights icon. A lot of great moments, as it can happen at a funeral. 3 living presidents in attendance, and they spoke, and it was good. A lot of good words said about him. Of course, social distancing would have been a lot more thick in the place, but nonetheless, we had the opportunity to see people pay tribute to a great man, and I think that they really did an excellent job paying tribute to the late great John Lewis, as I said, and that happened today. Some other things: the president, Donald Trump, he is in fear. He's in fear. Why do I say that? He's in fear of a landslide loss in the election. That's why he's moving how he's moving. And I know some of his supporters are going to get upset. They're going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, and all these things. President took to Twitter earlier today and called for the 2020 presidential election to be delayed due to mail-in voting. I mean, first of all, thankfully, the president has no control over this. Okay? Of course, if the president had control over this, then he would have abolished elections a long time ago, like his idol Putin. So the president mishandles. He can say it's China virus. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But when it got in your purview, when you had control of the response for America, you fumbled. You dropped the ball. You didn't even want to touch the ball. At least a fumble, they tried to grab the ball. You didn't even try to grab the ball. He wants to say, close the ball. You close the borders, whatever. As it relates to testing, fail. Just like when he was in school, having to get other people to take his test. Failed on testing, failed on masks, failed prevention, failed on helping the states. It's an all-around, out-and-out failure. Republicans are abandoning Trump and going with Joe Biden. That's how bad. They're putting party aside, country first. That's how bad it is. Now, of course, you're going to have the hanger-oners, the sheep that just can't, and is going to keep holding on to the end, like Herman Cain, hold on to the end. In the end, still supporting this dangerous, incompetent 45, also known as President Trump. So Trump has been attacking mail-in voting for some months. Why? I mean, if he was doing such a great job, right, wouldn't your supporters want to mail in their votes, right? What difference does it make if they mail in the votes if he's so popular? What difference does it make if they mail it in or vote in person? You know why? Because they're not going to vote for you. The more people that can vote, the less your chances of winning. That's right. So he's scared. So he's like, what can I do? I need somebody to protect me, right? Barr, can Attorney Barr help me? No, he can't help you. Not this time. Not this time. So as I said, for months he's been attacking mail-in voting. Now, what's the difference between mail-in voting and absentee voting? Not a whole lot, right? Still happens away from the polling place, but he doesn't care about that, of course, because he does absentee voting, right? Anyway, he's attacking the voting by mail for months. And as health and government officials are trying to make it easier and safer to vote during this pandemic, he's like, oh no. Cause you know why? Because he's going to lose in a landslide. In a landslide. He's on track for that anyway. Health officials have said that voting by mail can help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. And as you can see, Trump wants the coronavirus to spread. Why do I say this? Why do I say this? Because everyone around him is well, not everybody. A lot of people around him are getting the coronavirus. His supporters getting the coronavirus. Congress people supporting the president getting coronavirus. He wants it to spread. He thinks that spreading the coronavirus is going to keep him in office. People want you out because of what you've already done. Trump has made it clear that he believes that widespread mail-in voting would benefit the Democrats. Making voting easier would benefit the Democrats. That's his thought. So he tweeted some nonsense about inaccurate and fraudulent votes. You would know about fraud. How many of his companies and fraud? I mean, he's the king. He's the king of frauds. And he's talking about mail-in voting is going to lead to fraud. You would know. So his vice president, Mike Pence, involved in a bit of a fender bender, as we would call it. Campaign had a bus crash in Pennsylvania. Minor collision that happened this morning while he is stumping through western Pennsylvania, not wearing a mask, I'm sure. Shortly followed by a second campaign caravan crash. That's what he do. Crash up stuff, right? They can't manage a pandemic. The drivers can't drive. Pence on board the 2020 campaign bus collided with a dump truck. Oh, how ironic. Early this morning, 11 a.m. in the Allegheny County. And some journalists were accompanying in the press pool. Following this minor fender bender, they want to keep saying minor because, of course, all we do is win. I mean, it's almost over for you guys. It's almost over. 61 years old, Mike Pence resumed the journey in a limo. Did he do this on purpose? He continued in the limo, only some motorcycles as a security detail, and kept on track. An ambulance was spotted on the scene after the scene of the second accident, but it appeared that the riders were only having some evaluation, so everybody's good. No, nothing there. Hopefully, everybody had insurance and and all that good stuff. We talked about this earlier. The passing of former presidential candidate Herman Cain. President spoke about the passing of his friend, 74 years old, cancer survivor. And I had an interesting conversation with some people online, some Trump supporters who just feel like, how do you know he died of coronavirus? How do you know he got it from the rally? I mean, days after the rally, he was sick, walking around without a mask, all those people. And it's I try not to, I explain things the best that I can. Common sense is important, but common sense is not common. So everybody does not have common sense. Unfortunately, for adults, everybody doesn't have common sense, which is why we have some of the crazy things going on that we have going on. Interesting irony. The Baltimore County health officer named Dr. Gregory Branch, he is tested positive for coronavirus. He was not feeling well for a few days and suffered from some loss of a voice. Branch got tested at a county clinic, and the test has since come back positive. So he is self-isolating at home and taking part in daily meetings remotely. It just goes to show you how contagious the coronavirus is. It is not something that you can play with. So you have a lot of Republicans, or you have some Republicans, Trump supporters, who are just brazen in the ignorance of not embracing science. Not embracing science. And I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand the point. I don't understand the reason for denying what is clearly right in front of you. So, Baltimore officials say that coronavirus cases are rising at a rate that is outstripping increased testing. It is getting serious. So, there are real people whose illness are affecting their lives and the lives of their loved ones. This is a serious thing. But as far as Maryland, things have been better in Maryland than some other places. Governor Hogan announced yesterday the expanded statewide mask order. A lot of places need to be doing this. He's also issued an out-of-state travel advisory. The uptick in cases and conditions in other states have signaled the need for a pause in further reopening plans, at least here in Maryland. The governor said that Maryland will not begin to enter stage 3 in this recovery process until the numbers stabilize. Hogan said that the state is closely monitoring the public health metrics and spiking coronavirus numbers in states across the country. Now, Hogan is a Republican. He's a never-Trumper, but he is a Republican. And it goes to show you that this is not a political thing. You can have Democrats and Republicans with different political ideology, but still responsibly tackle this pandemic. So I don't understand. It's not that difficult. In Maryland, at 5 p.m. Friday, Maryland is expanding the statewide mask order, requiring face masks in public spaces of all businesses and in outdoor public areas whenever it is not possible to maintain physical distancing. If all states, hello Florida, if all states, hello Texas, if all states, hello California, did this, we'd be in a better position. Wearing a mask is the single biggest mitigation strategy that we have to fight this virus. Stops you from receiving the droplets and giving them off. The science and the data is clear. It's the best way to keep your family safe and you, to keep people out of the hospital, and to keep your state open for business. How complicated is that? Everybody wants the country open back up. Everybody wants the kids to go back to school. But the problem is some deniers feel that we can just send them back. Everything's going to be okay. People are still dropping dead and dying. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. We have to get a handle on this, and we can do it through contact tracing, through testing, and through masks. Very simple. Very simple. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, anywhere you get your podcast, search The Diamond K Show. Also, subscribe to youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. I will see you guys tomorrow.